Welcome back, everybody, to not Road to GM, boy, you thought, to the Champions Chess Tour. And in this tour, we got some of the greatest of the greatest. We got Magnus Carlsen. We got Jan Nepomniachtchi. We got young Krzysztof Duda. We got Wesley So. We got MVL. We got Dimitri Andreakin. I'm sorry, I don't know who you is, but I'm pretty sure you a legend. You at the championship tour. And the games we are covering today, because we're not covering all these games, we're covering Gucci Reza and Fabi, a.k.a. Ali Reza Fruja and Fabiano Caruana, because this is probably the one of the most legendary rounds I've ever seen. It's a 10-minute tournament. And buckle in, folks, because we got a wild ride ahead of us. I'm not going to pretend I'm a legend. I'm a 2,000 rated player, so I don't really understand a lot of the things, but that's why we got the engine and the eval. Let's get into the game. We're going to just basically commentate through the moves like it's live. E4, C5, Knight F3, D6, and we have Bishop B5, which almost is like a Rossolimo, but it's kind of like a canal attack based off what the engine's telling me. He blocks with the Knight, and now A4. Fabi develops the Knight, and so does Gucci. Now he kicks away the Bishop, and the Bishop comes back to E2 because he doesn't want to trade. B6, and strikes immediately with D4. Come on, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes. Probably because the knight can't come kick it away. But E5 looks kind of janky. Bishop up to the party. And now castles and E5. Kicking away the queen, and the queen goes back to E3. Bishop to E7. Rook to D1. It's time to just, we just shuffle and we trying to get activated. Knight back. Knight up. Putting extra pressure here. Even though it's defended twice. Rook to D8. Come on. And now the first mistake of the game, Knight D5, which doesn't really look like a mistake because knight takes knight, pawn takes, and now F5 because you gave away access to F5, and now these pawns look like they are going to storm. Queen to B3, F4, and now bishop to G4 with the idea of chopping and chopping. Rook B8, bishop takes knight, queen takes, and now knight takes pawn. Hitting the queen. Queen goes back. And look at that. Forget what you got going on over here. I want to go after the king. The bishop goes back to hit the knight. Okay, and now the knight jumps in. And you're like, whoa, why are you just allowing a fork? Why are you allowing a fork to happen? Bishop C8. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. So you can't take a rook because of the pin. So he goes queen E6 check, forcing a queen trade. Excuse me. Woo! Forcing the queen trade. Pawn takes, and now bishop takes knight. And pawn takes. And how do you stop that pawn, y'all? Allergies are kicking my ass. Golly. I think you just pick up the rook. But he doesn't do that. He swings the bishop up. G3, G5, Rook A3, and now he's going after the pawn. But H4, he is like, I want to undermine the motherfucking fuck out of this. Fabi said no. No, look at this pyramid of death. And look at this, just straight trying to like chop it at the knees. He's trying to ankle bite. Pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes pawn. King step up. Rook takes pawn. Rook step up. King step up, and now look at this. King step, king walks, rook to B4. King takes a pawn takes pawn, rook check, king back, pawn takes pawn. Rook check, king over, and look at this. How do you save this pawn? You have to slide the rook over, but look, this just looks so janky, bro. This looks so janky, so scary. D5 though. But look at Gucci. He said, "I'm not going out without a fight." Bishop H6 hit the rook, and now he said, "I'm going after this pawn." But are you gonna push here? Maybe push here and then push here. He pushes D4, and now look at this. He said, "I'm going for straight smoke," but rook takes pawn. Rook up, threatening things. King steps up, and also rook up to stop the bishop, to uncoordinate the rooks. Now that rook is hanging, so he has to move. And he moves. Rook F2, probably just to guard the second rank. And now we have a blunder. And I can already spot the blunder. Can y'all spot it? Rook check. And if the king goes here, it's bishop check, picking up the rook. So rook check, and he goes here, here. You take the bishop, and the king takes. You have bishop takes, and you're just up a piece. However, Mr. Gucci Reza don't see it. He got 5 seconds. He has 6 seconds to make moves, so that's understandable. King up. And now look at him. He's back in business. He's back in business. And he made another fatal blow because you fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But guess what? You ain't going to fool me twice because I'm Gucci Reza. Sack the rook. Brilliant. Double exclamation mark. Brilliancy on your dome piece. King takes. Bishop check. But Fabi said, I'm not going to stop playing. You have 8 seconds. I have 3. We going to the end game. Bishop blocks. King up. King up. Rook up. Oh, what you doing? Rook check. Rook check. He steps the king up. Rook takes rook. King takes. And guess what? B4. And we out of here. We out of here gone. Big racks. They long. And in this position, Mr. Fabiano Caruana goes down 1 game to Gucci Reza. And motherfucker, let's go hop into game 2 immediately. And let me tell you right here. Let me tell you right here what happens in this game. Somebody wins in 9 moves. How? How, Sway? How you win in 9 moves in a greatest grandmaster 10-minute rapid game? Let's find out. Fabi with the white pieces, Gucci Reza with the black pieces. C4, C6, knight F3, D5, G3, bishop attacking the knight, and the knight jumps in, hitting the bishop, counter-attacking the bishop. Now the bishop can go here. You can play H5, but Mr. Gucci plays bishop F5. Just putting pressure on this diagonal. And now we have queen B3. Putting pressure here. He wants a trade. Gucci said, let's go queen trade. And Fabi says, take my queen. I do not care. Queen takes queen. Pawn takes queen. And in this position, Gucci Reza made a fatal mistake. Bishop E4. And it's not crazy fatal at the moment, but it will be. Rook's hanging. So is the pawn. A lot of you guys are thinking, save the rook. Rook G1. F3. Knight F3. Save it. Save it. No. Keep it. Keep it. I don't want it. And here he fucks up. Mr. Fabiano Caruana calculated this masterpiece of a position, and Gucci Reza blundered. And why is it +8? Because not only did you sack 1 rook, you didn't just sack 1 rook, you sacked 2 rooks. And why can you not take this? Because I push. And I'm going queen, make a new queen, or I'm going to take your knight and make a new queen. And if you don't take, and you take the pawn, guess what I'm doing? Rook takes rook. Rook takes rook. And if you take with the knight, rook takes rook. GG. GG, that's game 2. Now we got game 3. Gucci Reza, I'm going to need you to dial it all the way back in right now because that was just a shameful performance. You trying to be like me out there. He thinking he trying to play like me, but I wouldn't mess up that bad. I wouldn't mess up that bad. I would have calculated. E4, C5, and we are back to the canal attack. We're just going to kind of shuffle through this because we've seen this position. G6, C4, B6, knight C3, bishop B7, rook E1, bishop G7, bishop F1, castles. And now he strikes in with D4, pawn takes, knight takes. Rook to the business. How do you defend this pawn? Well, it's already defended. So, let's play A4. Now, do we play B4? No, we play F3. Keep it calm, cool, and collected. Rook to the party, and now we get a pin going. Kick away the bishop, go away. Now the knight comes in. What are we thinking? This is attacked twice. How do we defend it? Push a pawn. Let's just keep it calm, cool, and collected. Push a pawn. Now he goes after the bishop. Bishop F2, and the knight reroutes. Queen C2, and he's pushing these H pawns. He said, what you doing? I'm pushing these H pawns. Rook D1. H4. H3. What you doing? What you doing? Knight over, bishop e3, bishop e5. You see the climactic is getting up. We're targeting the pawn. You got to defend it probably. Oh, he jumps in with the knight. What do you do now? Try to undermine it. Knight to e2. You take. I'll probably take with the bishop. Still keep there. But Mr. Fabi steps the queen up into the business. He still chops the knight and pawn takes. And this kind of looks a little scary. This looks like it could get a little scary. But everything's kind of closed up, so there's nothing to worry about. You got to save the bishop, Gucci. So he saves the bishop. And now look at this. King h7, and this is smooth moving. While you are under attack, while you see big rook come into the open file, you say, I don't give a fuck. You do what you want over here. I'm playing on the right side of the board. You playing on the wrong side of the board. I'm playing on the right side. Pawn takes, queen takes, and now the rook slides over. What do you do here? Queen back. Oh, he's getting ready to double. And Gucci said, it worked once. Maybe it'll work twice. The double up comes. The king gets off the open file. And now the queen comes in. Look at this. Look at that. Just look at that. You're threatening to take and literally get mated. So, how do you defend this? You just stay smooth, calm, and collected. Bishop g1. Look at this. Look at this. Like, look at this. All pieces are on a straight line. Who's going to win the game? Knight comes in. Bishop h2. Knight g5. Queen f2. Now we cooking. Bishop comes down, but that relinquishes an important square. The knight wants to come in now. And the knight jumps in. Knight c6. Bishop in, hitting the rook. Look at that. Shutting it down. e5 with the rook hit. Because if you take my rook, I don't care. I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in. But I don't understand why he didn't just take here. Hit the queen. Because I guess you're getting forked regardless. Well, I'd go here. I don't know. Pawn takes pawn. Knight in. Fork. Bishop takes rook check. Rook takes rook. And blender. Mr. Fabi thought, well, I'm going to lose something, but it would be better to lose this rook. For whatever reason, I do not know, and I would not be able to tell you why, but it is. Bishop d7. But Gucci takes the wrong rook. I would have took the same rook. I would have took that rook too. King takes. Queen takes pawn. Pawn pushes. And now look at this. Get in, get out, let's reroute. Get in, get out, let's reroute. Rook in. Put pressure here. Rook in. Look at that. Queen up. Queen up. Putting extra pressure on this bishop. Bishop d8. g4. And you're like, brother, en passant that. This is hit. This is going to be hit. The bishop's hit. The queen's opened up. You can't en passant that. The queen's there. The queen's there big pin. And he leaves it to die. Take the knight. He's up a piece. Queen takes pawn. Bishop g2. Queen takes pawn. What are you doing? Gucci just sacked the piece back. Whoa. Now we're going crazy. Queen blocks. Queen takes queen. He takes. And you're like, well, I got these pawns. I'm going to win the endgame. c5. Rook comes in. You got to defend it, don't you? No. Don't defend it. Push it. Rook takes pawn. What do you do here? Push it. Push it. Push it to the limit. Because you're in it. The rook comes in, but it don't matter because rook d8. You take the pawn. I take the bishop. Yes, you have 2 pawns for the bishop, but it don't matter. Not when you a super GM. The rook's getting ready for cleanup crew. Rook slides over to attack. Rook check. How you stopping that H-pawn, though? That's the real question. How you stopping that H-pawn? How you stopping that H-pawn? Check. If you go here, I take this with a discover check. So he goes here. You take the pawn. You push. And you think you're there to save the day. You think you're there to save the day, right? You're just a little too slow. Rook check. Bink. The king goes over and you slide in. And you can't stop me from queening. That is tough. And that is game 3. And Ali Reza is up 2-1. And now we run into game 4. Let us dial in. Let us cook this. Let's marinate this position up. e4. Okay, we don't got the canal attack. We got Giacomo piano game. Italian game. If you ain't know I'm fluent in Italian, you know now Giacomo piano. Let's cook. Short castles. D6, C3, A4, or A6, A4. Do you push? No, just develop the knight. Knight to D2. Let's go. Short castles. H3, H6, Rook E1, Rook E8, B4. This is a maneuvering game. Bishop takes bishop, rook takes bishop, queen C2, queen D7, rook A2, which looks fucking atrocious because I'd rather play bishop B2. But maybe the idea is to guard the second rank for a longer period of time. The rook drops back, and now the big reroute of the knights. Look at this. Knights are having a staring contest like some weirdos, bro. Get these freaky ass horses up out of here. But C3, C6 or C4, C6. Knight jumps in. This is crazy work. Straight tension everywhere. Queen back, bishop up, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes. And looky here. Looky here. In this position, you see how the pawns are on dark squares and these pawns are on light squares? If every piece gets traded off except for the dark square bishops, white is going to feast on these pawns. Because the king is just going to walk up, trade that pawn, take here, and push. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just fuck what I'm saying then, Fabiano. What the fuck? You don't want to listen to a 2,000 rated chess YouTuber with 2,000 subscribers? You don't want to listen to me? Get him gone out of here. Bishop takes bishop, rook takes. Doubles up, rook D2. Do we trade? No. Rook C2. No, we don't even trade. We trade on my terms. We're going to do it my way. Rook takes, rook over, rook check, queen takes. Ooh! Sack the knight, and it's pretty easy. You can't take because big fork on your dome piece. Funky boy. But queen steps up, and now how do you save it? Chop the knight, and now either maybe F3, but you don't want to let the diagonal open, or maybe knight G3. Knight G3. Knight back, queen D1. Knight C5, queen D4. King up, push the pawn. You want to get in on this? I want to get in here. But why don't you take here and hit this? Oh, maybe because if you take here, I'm pushing. Takes. Queen check, king up. Queen takes pawn, but queen takes A5. And look at these. Look at these. He pushes H5. Queen B4. Knight in. Queen C4. Knight takes pawn. Push the pawn. Queen attacking the pawn, defend the pawn. Push the pawn. Knight in. Question mark? Because B7. How do you stop this pawn? How do you stop this pawn? Oh, that's a good effort. That's mate. Just stop it. Stop it. Queen check, back. And now you threaten in here. How do you stop that? Oh, no. Whoa. What just happened? I didn't mean to do that, y'all. Sorry. We just lost focus. We're not editing it out either. We authentic with it. Come on, let me hurry up. Let me get back there. Take. How do you defend it? Queen here. Defend here. Push here. But now, guess what? We threatening mate again. What's the move here? Do you defend again? No, because then you just repeat. Knight E3. Sack the knight again. Because if you take I queen, you take I queen. You can't take here because it's here. So knight F3, not even check, pawn takes, queen takes knight, make a queen, you take here, check. You might think that you got a perpetual, but guess what? The king is on a spiritual journey. The king is on his way to the motherfucking home. He wants to get there safe, and guess what? He will get there, and as soon as you try to stop giving me checks, 2 queens, strong on your dome piece, Fabiano wins game 4. We got a 2-2 lead. We got a 2-2 series, and now it's time to fire the final game. We got Mr. Ali Reza versus Mr. Fabiano. Game 5. How are we going to do it? E4, and we are back to the canal. We are going to fast forward because we've seen this so much already. Okay, let's start here. Bishop G4. G6, D4, H5, bishop back, A5, queen F2, bishop hitting the rook. You got to save the rook. Bishop in. You think that's a thorn? It's not. We're going to jump in here. Take, take. Now we got pressure here. But you could push here. But guess what? It's going to be a target. Let's trade bishops. Let's trade bishops. And this is very familiar to this game right here with the open G file. We got another open G file. Let's see if they take advantage of it this time. Pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, queen takes, rook up to the business. And why? We got E6. Why is that great? You're threatening that. You're threatening that. Knight jumps in. The queen is here. And for the life of me, I do not know why Gucci Reza did not take this pawn with check and then take this pawn. But he took this pawn and allowed that pawn to get taken. And now the queen has to drop back. For the life of me, I would not be able to tell you why that happened. Queen C6. Bishop D2. Queen D5. Look at this. Like, ew. This is so ugly. Knight F2. Queen into the business, and now G3. No queen trade. We do not want a queen trade. H4. F5. You can't take here because I take here with check. You go here. Then I take here with check. You go here, and then I go here with check. You go here. And then I'm probably back to save the day. I don't know. King up. Pawn takes, pawn check. Knight takes. Queen G2. And that's a blunder. It's a blunder because the long diagonal. It's a blunder because the long diagonal. But Gucci Reza felt the pressure and played H takes G. Rook to G8. Bishop to F5. Rook to H5. And for the life of me, I do not know why this is not getting played. This and this just looks so... Oh, wait, no, the queen covers. But this just looks so gross. Rook C1, he's not finding it. You want a queen trade? You're going to have to take me. And in this position, this might be the fatal blow. Bishop takes bishop. Queen takes bishop. Finally, after not being played for 30,000 moves, Queen B7 is played. And why is this losing? Because, well, for example, if you go knight C7, rook takes knight, queen takes, and rook E7, take. And if, for example, I don't know why this can't be played. Oh, rook C8 is mate. If you go here, rook C8, you have to block, and then rook X E6, here, mate. Oh, yeah, tough. So, in this, hey, Gucci Reza, dub. Big dubs up. Big dubs up for Mr. Gucci. Let me know if you guys enjoyed these videos. I don't know if I'm too over the top or if I'm not over the top enough or if I just need to be chill or if I need to cover all the games. Drop down in the comment section. Appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.